Shalom, shalom, shalom. All right. I want to start off by giving our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakal, Kadash. Double honors to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone, rule well, and peace and salutations to the house of David. Shalom to the elect. All right. This is the brother Yisazah coming back at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakal, Kadash. All right. And I'm going to title this lesson, a lot of people going to be disappointed, man. All right. Speaking of the nation of Israel. And really speaking on the whole, man, because really a lot of these heathens, think that, the Lord came for everybody, or that basically everybody has a chance at salvation, which that's the farthest thing from the truth, But I'm not even going to really center on the heathen. I'm going to really center on Israelites, because a lot of Israel think that since they learned the truth, they learned that they're Israelite, they learned that they're a true Jew, they're a true descendant of the Israelites of the Bible, that they have now got it, and then there's a lot of men and women, so to speak, who are in this truth, who think that just because they know about this truth that they're gonna be delivered. Then you have some who doing the work, who know the full truth, but still don't understand that it's certain things that you have to do fully to be accepted by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua, and then ultimately you have to be chosen. That's the number one thing. So matter of fact, let me get there first in Second Ezra, because you have to be chosen by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua. And there's a chosen of a chosen. And ultimately, well, let me get this first in Isaiah, because it's only a small remnant who Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua is going to deliver out of the nation of Israel. He's not going to deliver the whole nation, And even a lot of these people who are doing the work, they're not going to be delivered. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua is a lot of people going to be disappointed in the day of Yahweh Shai's return, because guess what? They're not going to be delivered. So I'm going to get this first. This is Isaiah chapter 1, verse 9. Except the Lord of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah. So it says, if Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua, except he had left us a very small remnant, we should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah. And that's what's going to ultimately happen to a lot of Israelites, man. They're not a part of that very small remnant. They're going to be like unto Sodom and Gomorrah, which we know the judgment of Sodom and Gomorrah and the 5 neighboring cities. All right, they were burnt to a crisp by fire and brimstone. So that's ultimately what's coming to a vast majority of Israelites, man, even including those who think that they're in the truth, man. All right, who think that they got it, man. All right, just because you throw up a hand fist, and do a shalom and get you a staff, and got you some Yahweh Shai gear, or some Yah gear, you claiming Judah, that don't mean that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua not going to destroy you, man. And then also too, just because you doing the work and you're preaching and teaching your people. If you're not teaching a full 100% doctrine, then if you're not diligent within it, and if you're not practicing what you teach, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua is going to destroy you, man. So that's the whole point. Let me get this too real quick. It's in Malachi. It's Malachi chapter 3. It's Malachi chapter 3 and verse started 6. It says, "For I am the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua, I change not, therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed." And ultimately Jacob, is Israel, and all of Israel is not of Israel, but we're gonna get that, it says ye sons of Jacob, so you get ye sons of Jacob have to not be consumed, which the true sons of Jacob are who are doing the will of Jacob. Now let's get this. This in Second Ezra. This is what I want right here. Second Ezra chapter 8, verse 1. It says, and he answered me and said, it's like he answered me saying, the Most High have made this world for many, but the world to come for few. So Yahweh Shem Yahshua has made this world for many, man. All right, but the world to come is for few. And that ultimately is speaking on the elect, the 1/3, man. The 144,000 men and the men, women, and children who are slated for salvation, which is 33.3%. It says, verse 2, I will tell thee a similitude, Esdras, as when thou exest the earth, it shall say unto thee that it giveth much mud, whereof earthen vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh of. Even so is the course of this present world. There be many created, but few shall be saved. Yes, so there are many who are created, but only a few gonna be saved, man. All right. So it's several Israelites will tell you that Israel is like a sand in the sea. Matter of fact, let's get this. Isaiah 10 real quick. It's Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 21. The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob. Right. So it says, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed, which that's the remnant of Jacob. Ultimately, that's who the sons of Jacob are, is the remnant. It says, the remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty power of Yahweh, by Shem Yahshua. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decree shall overflow with righteousness. Right. So it says, though my people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet only a remnant of them shall return, man. Okay. So you got our people is many Israelites. Is many Israelites that are created, but ultimately, Yahweh Shem Yahshua is only going to deliver a few of them. He only going to deliver a few. So you got all these guys coming together. Talking about unity is power and all this mess. And having unity groups. Man, Yahweh Shem Yahshua not going to deliver all you people, man. It's probably only a few, man, if any, doing that unity shit that Yahweh Shem Yahshua is going to deliver, man. He's not dealing with that, man. All right, he only dealing with a select few people, man. And that's the harsh reality of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, that he's gonna kill a lot of Israelites, man. A lot of Israelites gonna be disappointed, man, because they gonna find out Yahweh Shem Yahshua ain't what they thought it was. All right, this is well, let me start up a little bit. This is Matthew chapter 7, verse 19. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Right. So if you could be, because another name for people would be as trees. Trees in the scriptures can be considered unto people. So it says every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. So if you're not a so to speak good tree bringing forth good fruit, just like John the Baptist said, bring forth fruits meant for repentance. So if you're not bringing forth good fruits meant for repentance unto Yahweh Shem Yahshua, ultimately he's gonna cast you into the fire. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, that ultimately, what I'm saying, you could be bringing forth fruit. Yeah, you could bring forth fruit like, oh, you're an Israelite now, you doing some of the things you need to do, but ultimately that's still that don't make it good fruit. That don't mean that it's fruit meant for repentance. Ultimately that tree is gonna be cut down because it's not bringing forth it's not bringing forth the fruit like it should. At the speed it needs to. Or the speed it needed to. So ultimately you're gonna have to cut it down and cast it into the fire. And grow it again, which is going to happen with the 2/3. They're going to be cut down and cast into the fire, and then ultimately they're going to come back through the loins of the elect. And matter of fact, I wanted to get Revelations 20, so let me grab that real quick, just to make a quick point. This Revelations chapter 20 and verse 4, it says, and I saw thrones, and they set upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of men that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua, for the word of Yahweh, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years. But here's the point right here. But the rest of the dead lived not until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. That's where ultimately those trees who got cast down into the fire are going to have to get grown back up again. You know, is during that first resurrection. You know, and that's all the trees that didn't bring forth good fruit. You know, and that's ultimately speaking about those of the nation of Israel who were not selected and elected, you know, for salvation on the first go around, you know, to escape the second death, you know, which is going to be by fire, you know. But to go back to Matthew 7, I'm going to read 19 again. It's Matthew 7, verse 19. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Wherefore by their fruits ye shall know them. Right, so it says by their fruits that ye shall know them. You know, that's how you know who Yahweh Shemashah is truly dealing with, by their fruits, man. You know, are they teaching the right doctrine? You know, are they sincere? You know, do they got big crowds? You know, they got you know, are they all about glamour and glitz? Are they shining all the time? You know, are they worried about the right things? You know, or are they feeding the sheep? You know, most importantly, you know, with the bread that's convenient for them. You know, are they doing the things necessary to please Yahweh Shemashah? The same is known of them. You know, when someone's actions speak louder than words ultimately. So you could be teaching, but your actions show if you're sincerely about serving Yahweh Shemashah. You know, it says, verse 21, not everyone that said unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. Right. So you got all these people coming through, you know, throwing up hand fists, you know, and all these different things. But ultimately, and, you know, shalom, you know, throwing on a head wrap, you know, but it says not, you know, Lord, Yahshua, Lord Yahushua, you know, but it said not everyone that said unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, you know. And then you could send it to the DM, send it to the DM, and I'll answer it for you, you know. This verse 21, it says, not everyone that said unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. So it says, Lord, 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 you know, not everyone that said unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. And that's what's going to ultimately happen with a vast majority of the nation of Israel, you know, because a lot of them just think just because, you know, they got the appearance, you know, they're messing with certain type of people. They're doing things that, so to speak, would be what an Israelite would do, that they're going to be able to enter into the kingdom of heaven. But that's not how this works, man. You know, ultimately, Yahweh Shemashah, like I was going into, he has a slated, elected people that's already been chosen, man. If you're not a part of that chosen, you're not going to make it into the kingdom of heaven, you know, even if you are an Israelite, you know. It says, and that's what a lot of Israelite camps, they don't teach that, man. They just tell you that, oh, okay, you're an Israelite, and that's it, you know. Everything is good from here on out, you know. No, that's not necessarily what it is, man. You know, it's a harsh reality and a harsh future coming to 2/3 of the nation of Israel, which is 6 to 7 out of 10 of every Israelite, man. You know what's gonna happen? They're gonna have a harsh judgment brought upon them, man. All right. It said, so the odds ain't really that good. So, you know, that's why I tell you in 2 Peter, the first chapter, to give diligence to make your calling and election sure. You know, when you go into that word diligence, it means hard work, you know, being earnest, you know, being eager. So you got to be consistent, and you got to be persistent within your servitude and your ministry towards Yahweh Shemashah and the saints, you know, and you know, that's a constant thing, you know, and you got to make sure you're perfecting your craft, you know. Yeah, if you DM me the question, I'll answer it for you, you know. This verse 22. It says, many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name, and in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works? So it says, many will say in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name, and in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works? So it's going to be those who have, so to speak, been doing the work of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and they going to say unto the Lord, haven't we, been casting out devils in your name? Haven't we been doing wonderful works in your name? So it's going to be even those who are, prophesizing and teaching and ministering in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, But what Yahweh the Lord going to say to them? It says, and then will I profess unto them, I never knew you, depart from me, ye that work iniquity. And that's going to be that disappointment that a lot of people going to be faced with in our Lord Yahweh's second coming. All right, he going to say he don't even know you, man. All right, regardless of, all the, Yahweh t-shirts you got, all the summits you went to, all the, all the Passovers you kept, and the holy days you kept, and the Shabbat Shalons that you was doing, and all the, all the fun and games that you was into, so to speak, which this is not fun and games. This is the house of mourning, When you serve me Yahweh Shem Yahushua, it says prepare thy soul for temptation. So, if you're not really going through a fiery trial, if you're really not going through absolute hell, you really need to question yourself. Are you a true servant of Yahweh Shem Yahushua? Because it says if we be servants of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we of all men be most miserable. And that's and that's a key indicator to show you that you're a true servant of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. This is Matthew chapter 22, verse. I started 1. I just start from the top. This is Matthew chapter 22, verse 1. And Yahushua answered and spake unto them again by parables, and said, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son, and sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come. It says the kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son, which is, Yahweh, of course, and his son is Yahushua. It says, and sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come. So ultimately, the servants are the body of Yahushua, calling unto Israel to come unto the marriage, back unto the lamb, the marriage of the lamb ultimately, which is Yahushua, who is gonna bring us back, join us back into our power, Yahweh, because this is what marriage means, to be joined unto. It says, verse 4, again he sent forth other servants, saying, tell them which are bidden, behold, I have prepared my dinner, my oxen and my fatlings are killed, and all things are ready, coming to the marriage. But they made light of it and went their ways, one to his farm, another to his merchandise. Right, because if you got, if a marriage is ready, it's a particular way you got to come into that marriage. You got to have, it's a certain dress code. It's a certain spirit you got to be in. It's certain things you got to bring. You got to bring gifts. All these, it's multiple things that you got to do to be prepared for this marriage. But it said they made light of it, so they didn't prepare themselves for the marriage, so to speak. It says, verse 6, and the remnant took his servants and entreated them spitefully and slew them. So ultimately they was like, well, we're going to do our own thing. We don't need to prepare for this marriage. All right, we got our own marriages going on. You get the hell up out of here. It says, but when the king heard thereof, he was wroth, and he sent forth his armies and destroyed those murderers and burnt up their city. And ultimately that's going into the 2/3, and that's going, and those armies are going into the angels, the host of heaven, who are gonna come back to deliver the elect and destroy the rest of the nation of Israel. Why? Because they're murderers. And then it said, and burnt up their city. And ultimately, when you go back into that word city, it goes back to the word people. It says, verse 8, I believe in the Greek, it says, verse 8, then said he
to his servants, the wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage. So these servants went out into the highways and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good, and the wedding was furnished with guests. So ultimately, the elect, they're going to Matthew the 13th chapter when they talk about gather the tares with the wheats, and then in the end we're gonna figure out which are the tares and the wheats, and all that are separated. We're gonna all that's not wheat, the tares, we're gonna cast them off into the fire and burn them up. So that's the bad and the good. That's why a lot of people are coming into this thing of being an Israelite, but that don't necessarily mean just because you acknowledge that you're an Israelite that you're a good guest prepared for this wedding. It says, verse 11, when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment. So he said he seen a man who didn't have on a wedding garment, because when you were supposed to prepare yourself properly for this wedding, like I was going into, you're supposed to properly make sure that you have you're supposed to be up to par when you come into this wedding. You can't just come into this wedding like you want to come into this. It's certain type of regulations and guidelines for this wedding. It says, and when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment. And he said unto him, Friend, how camest thou in hither, not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Yeah, he was speechless. He didn't even know what to say, man. Like, damn. He didn't have no words. He didn't have no words. And that was Yahushua speaking himself. He said, friend, you didn't come in here with the wedding garment. You didn't come in here with the right requirements for this marriage. So what he say? Then said the king to his servants, Bind him hand and foot and take him away and cast him into outer darkness. There should be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So ultimately, that outer darkness represents destruction, man. It says he got tossed out the party, man. And the party represents the bidding back into the marriage, man. In those chariots, man. I seen New Jerusalem coming from heaven. That's that wedding ceremony. It says verse 14, for many are called, but few are chosen. So there you go, right there. It's only a few select that are chosen, man. Let me get this real quick in Isaiah 26, because touching on the wedding ceremony, this is Isaiah chapter 26 and verse 20. It says, Come, my people, enter thou into my chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as it hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed. So ultimately, those chambers are talking about the chariots, which really you can apply to those wedding chambers as well. Hiding yourself in the wedding chambers of the Lord, until the indignation be overpassed. And that's that wedding ceremony that you have to be that you have to be in, to not be in that outer darkness. To be a part, so you don't be a part of that outer darkness, which represents the destruction that's going to come upon all those who, don't take part in the marriage. Now let's go here to Amos. Let's go here to Amos chapter 5 and verse 18. This Amos chapter 5 and verse 18. It says, Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is dark. The day of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, is darkness and not light. You see? So that's that outer darkness right there. It says, Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. For what is it for you? So, a lot of people, they desire for the day of the Lord to come. I'm ready for the kingdom of heaven. We're going to be kings. We're going to be kings and princesses. It's going to be so beautiful and glorious, but ultimately the day of the Lord is going to be darkness and not light, man. All right. The day of the Lord is going to be, man, very, very harsh, man. Why? Because a lot of people are going to get put to death, even of our people, because in the time of the Exodus, the Lord, he delivered the whole nation of Israel, man. He delivered the whole nation, but this time the Lord, he not finna deliver the whole nation of Israel, man. He only going to deliver his elect. and that's the harsh reality of this second Exodus. All right, the Lord is gonna put a lot of people to death, man. So it ain't, you desiring the day of the Lord, man. We gotta hope that the Lord counts us worthy to be accepted into His wedding ceremony, so we could be hid from the indignation that He's gonna bring upon this place, man. Let's go to and upon our people. This is Romans chapter 9 verse 6. It says, not as though the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua had taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel. So it says they're not all Israel who are. It says they are not all Israel which are of Israel. So you can be an Israelite, you can claim to be an Israelite. You could have the appearance of the Israelite. You could be posting all the memes. You could be posting all the so-called spiritual things in the world, all the scriptures in the world. You could even be teaching it and putting up videos, man. But ultimately, all of Israel is not of Israel. It says, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. And who is Isaac? Isaac is ultimately, Isaac ultimately had Jacob, which Isaac was really Yahushua in reincarnation, if you got ears to hear, which that's spiritual within itself. But ultimately, that goes back to what I was touching on about how the sons of Jacob, the sons of Jacob is not the sons of Jacob are not going to be utterly consumed. That's why it says, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. So ultimately, in Jacob's name was later changed to Israel. So Jacob represents that true Israel. Let's go here to St. John 4:22. So it says, just because you an Israelite don't mean that you're gonna be delivered out here, man. that don't mean the Lord dealing with you per se. The Lord gonna bring harsh judgment upon the nation of Israel, man. This St. John chapter 4 verse 22. That's why I say the title of this lesson. A lot of people are gonna be disappointed in the day of the Lord, man. All right, because you desire the day of the Lord like it's just gonna be all peaches and cream, man. But ultimately, the Lord, hey, man, He might kill us, man. He might kill me. We don't know. All we can do is just hope and have faith in the Lord. It says, in the fear of the Lord is strong confidence. Give diligence to make your calling and election sure. So we do the things necessary to hopefully be pardoned by Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. But ultimately, they don't mean you're going to be pardoned. You have to be chosen, and you have to do the thing. You have to be doing what the chosen would be doing. You're not just chosen just because the Lord, He chose Israel to be above all people. Yeah, so we're a chosen nation, but ultimately it's a chosen within the chosen, man. This St. John chapter 4 verse 22, it says, yea, worship, yea, know not what. Yea, know what we know what we worship, Salakia. It says, for salvation is of the Jews. It says, so yea, worship, yea, know not what. And that's what a lot of Israelites do. They worship, they worship the God of Israel, so to speak. They worship the God of Jews. They acknowledge them being of the nation of Israel. They acknowledge being of Jerusalem, but ultimately salvation is of the Jews, which the Jews represents the sons of Jacob, which all the sons of Jacob are not of the sons of Jacob, which is Israel, So really you worshiping, but really you not understanding that, look, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is not dealing with the whole nation, man. He not dealing with the whole nation, man. All right. Just because you out here, just because you out here claiming Israel don't mean the Lord is going to deliver you, man. And that's what a lot of people push. That's what a lot of people think, man. A lot of people think that they're part of that number already. No, not necessarily, Bucko. You're not a part of that number just because you're an Israelite, man. You're not a part of that number just because you're doing the work. You're not a part of that number just because you wear fringes, okay? That don't make you a part of this number, man. Because what? Especially if you have if you have received this glorious gospel and you haven't continued within it, then ultimately the Lord is the Lord is gonna kill you. Why? Because you put your hand back into wickedness, man. You know, this is Amos chapter 9. I started at 9. This Amos chapter, I started at 8. This Amos chapter 9, verse 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord, Yahweh Shemashah, are upon the sinful kingdom, which this sinful kingdom represents the nation of Israel, ultimately, you know. But we can apply that to America and all these wicked-ass nations and countries that our people are scattered abroad, you know. It says, behold, the eyes of the Lord, Yahweh Shemashah, are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth. So he said he will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, said the Lord, Yahweh Shemashah. Right, so he said he going to destroy the sinful kingdom from off the face of the earth, but he's not going to utterly destroy the house of Jacob, which means he's going to destroy some other house of Jacob, but he's not going to utterly destroy it, you know. It says, verse 9, for lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations like as corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth, right? So he going to sift the nation of Israel, man, all right, like a sieve. So he going to get all the those who bring forth bad fruit, all the trees that's not bringing forth good fruit, so to speak, you know, those going to be cast down. You know, it says, verse 10, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. So Yahweh Shemashah said all the sinners of his people going to die by the sword, man. Okay. So if you have received this truth and you still bullshitting, you not fully engulfed in this faith like you supposed, okay, ultimately you going to die by the sword, man. All right, you're going to be destroyed. Okay. That's speaking to Israelites, man. It says all the sinners of my people gonna die by the sword, man. All right, and just because you an Israelite, okay, you coming back to the faith, that don't mean that you necessarily not a sinner. All right, because we're all sinners, but you could be in this faith and you could still be transgressing the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh Shemashah. All right, you know, even by breaking them the smallest commandment, you know. Especially things that you can avoid, you know, especially things you don't have to do. You know, you could say, oh, the Lord's gonna be pacified towards your sins just because you're an Israelite and you doing better off than a lot of others, so to speak. You ain't just like no straight reprobate nigga out here, but yes, really you are. You know, not understanding that. Look, if you're not completely right, Yahweh Shemashah gonna destroy you, man. You know. It's Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. You know, all of Israel is not of Israel. So, you know, the sincere brethren, you know, who are slated for salvation, the elect. And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people, you know, which all the people of the Lord are not just all Israelites. It just all Israelites is the elect of Israel. You know, it says at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. What? The book of life, which the book of life represents the elect. You know, so that's who's going to be delivered. Everyone that shall be found written in the book. Yeah, that's the elect, man. All right, that's the elect. You know. It says, verse 2, and many of them that shall sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life and some to shame and everlasting contempt. Right? It says, so some is going to wake up to everlasting life, but some is going to wake up to shame and everlasting contempt, man. And that's ultimately what's going to happen in the time of this trouble like it's never been, man, before there was upon the face of the earth, man. You know, so, you know, our nation, you know, it's finna go through a horrible time, a great tribulation such as never was before, man. But only the elect are gonna be delivered out of that time. You know, everybody. It don't matter. It don't matter just because you think you got it or you think that the Lord, you know, is dealing with you, so to speak, man. That don't mean that He is. You know, this 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 10. It says, well, let me start at 9. It says, This is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9. The Lord Yahweh Shemashah is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering to us word, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. Yeah, that all represents the elect, you know. But even if you want to say all the nation of Israel, well, Yahweh Shemashah ultimately ain't just been brought the hammer down because he want to give everybody a chance to get this this truth, even if they can't get it, you know, even if he got that blocker on them. You know, but that all really represents the elect, you know. It says, verse 10, but the day of the Lord, Yahweh Shemashah, will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also shall, and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Right. So it says, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, which we're all made up of elements. Okay. You know, so in the day of the Lord gonna come as a thief in the night, which means it's gonna catch a lot of people off guard, man. And a lot of people gonna be disappointed. Why? Because they're gonna get burnt up. You know, it says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness. So it says in all holy conversation, and that represents your lifestyle, how you living, man. And you could be living, you could think you're living right with in the guidelines of the book of being an Israelite, but ultimately they don't mean you living right, you know. It says, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Lord, Yahweh Shemashah, which everyone is not doing. You know, they're not hasting in the day. You know, they're not looking forward to the coming of the day of our power, Yahweh Shemashah. They thinking about, you know, fulfilling their own belly. Ultimately, you know, they thinking about their own fleshly lusts and desires. You know, it says, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of Yahweh Shemashah, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we according to his promise. All right. Look for a new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Right. And that's the key right there, man. You know, because you got Israelites who actually believe that we're going to be able to take over this place, take over this current world, and, you know, we can make some kind of life within here until the Lord comes or something like that. No, we look forward to a new heavens and a new earth, you know, a new rulership and a new earth that's cleansed of wickedness, you know, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless. Right. So it says, seeing that you look for these things, be diligent that you may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless, man. And that's the whole point. You want to be found of him in peace, man. You know, without spot and blameless, man. And a lot of Israelites, so to speak, they're not without spot and blameless, man, and they're not diligent to make sure they're not without spot and blameless. You know, they're trying to step into that wedding ceremony, but they don't have the proper garment on. You know, their white garment, you know, their holy garment has stains on it. You know, let me get this real quick. This Ecclesiastes chapter 7. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse. Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 8. It says, let thy garments be white, and let thy head lack no ointment. Right. So you come into the wedding ceremony, you got to make your garments got to always be white. You got to make sure it ain't got no stain in it. All right. It got to be completely right, man. You can't come in there with a Kool-Aid stain on your white garment, you know. It says, and let thy head lack no ointment. Right. So you got to come in there with ointment on your head. You got to come in there smelling right. You got to come in there with properly. Just like on the Passover, you know, you got to eat bitter herbs, man. You gotta have a certain type of lamb, which we know, you know, we can't. It's hard to get a whole lamb, you know, without spot and without blemish, you know, so to speak. But you can't just eat no damn chicken wings on the Passover. Like it's a certain type of requirement when you come to Yahweh Shemashah, you know, like it tell you in Deuteronomy 17th chapter, you can't offer nothing to the Lord, without spot with spot and with blemish, because that's a abomination unto Yahweh Shem Yahshua. And that's the same thing as you trying to come into the wedding ceremony not fully prepared. All right, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. So Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is going to bring every work into judgment and with every secret thing, man. All right, so that's where a lot of people going to be figured out at, man, because Yahweh Shem Yahshua is gonna really see, really find you out if you really about this, because a lot of people claim that they really about this, but they really not, on the outside they are, but we'll say on the out, like Yahweh said, outwardly they're like whited sepulchres, but on the inside, inwardly they're dead man's bones, Let's get this Ezekiel 9. This is Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4. And the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshua said unto him, talking to the death angel, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, which we were speaking on how that word city goes back to the word people, which Jerusalem was a people before it was a place, and how I said, salvation is of the Jews. It says, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So you got to be sighing and crying for all the abominations that done in the midst thereof, man. Everybody not doing that, man. All right, everybody not crying and sighing for all the abominations that's done in the midst thereof, man. All right, they might do it a little bit, but we talking about consistently those who are constantly in a state of mourning, man. Those who are constantly grieved. Like our Lord Yahushua says, he was a man acquainted with grief. It said the Lord chose the world, the poor of this world, rich in faith. That's who gonna get that mark. And that word mark is the wak, which means exemption for judgment. Verse 5, it says, and to the others he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite, let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. So he told the death angel to go through the city and smite everyone who don't have that mark. Which is that exemption from judgment, which those who are going to get it are the men that sign and cry for all the abominations that's done there in the midst thereof consistently and sincerely, But he says to the others who don't have it, go through this city and smite them, kill them, and let not your eyes spare, neither have pity. So the death angel not going to spare you or have no pity on you, all right, just because you an Israelite or just because, you was praising Yah, so to speak. It says, verse 6, it says, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. So it said he told the death angel to slay utterly old men and women, young men and young women, and little children. Okay, that's another thing that people don't understand about Yahweh Shem Yahshua. He gonna kill kids too. Okay, he gonna kill kids too. All right, and women, and he gonna kill women too, man. All right, because a lot of these women think they sisters, we the sisters. Okay, well we're gonna see how much of a sister you really are when you have a Shemashah put your ass to death. All right, because you ain't wanna serve a man of the Lord. You ain't wanna get down with a man of the Lord. Okay, you didn't want to live in holiness and sobriety. Well, you want the buck on the order of Yahweh Shem Yahshua. So Yahweh Shem Yahshua is gonna put death on you. All right. It says, become not near any man upon whom is the mark. So the woman can't even get the mark. She had to get saved through her man. Tell you that in 1 Timothy, the second chapter, notwithstanding that she should be saved through childbearing, if she continues in holiness and sobriety, It says, become not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient man which were before the house, and then they began at the ancient man which were before the house. Speaking of, the nation of Israel, man, So we're going to start with, the guys who, so to speak, in the truth. Those are the ancient men. He going to start there right there. That's why I tell you in 1 Peter, the 4th chapter, for the time has come where judgment must start in the house of Israel, man. And if it first began at us, then where shall be the end of them who obey not the gospel of Yahweh Shem Yahshua? which is the whole roll, you know. Now let's get this in Revelation 7. This is Revelation chapter 7, verse 1. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power, Yahweh Shemel Shai. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees. There go that word trees again. So we have sealed the servants of our power, Yahweh Shemel Shai, in their forehead. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. You know, so 144,000. You know, and in that mark, it goes back to that in Ezekiel 9. That mark in Ezekiel 9, which is that exemption from judgment, man. You know, so if you don't got that, then guess what? You're gonna get hurt. You know, it said hurt not the earth or the trees or the seas or the sea or the trees until, you know, we have sealed the servants of our power in their forehead. So once, you know, everyone who is slated to get their seal, you know, which is the elect, everyone else is gonna be destroyed, man. You know, just to jump down in that same chapter, verse 9, this Revelation 7, verse 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed in with white robes. They go back to them, that white, you know, your garment being white, you know, the wedding ceremony, and palms in their hands, you know. So ultimately, only 144,000 and a slated multitude are going to be delivered, you know, and that's the reality of this. Yahweh Shemel Shai is going to kill a lot of so-called Israelites, man, you know, who think they in this faith. You know, a lot of people are going to be disappointed, you know. Now, this is Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 1. I'm going to just wrap it up off this. This is Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 1. Then said the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. So Moses and Samuel, you know, representing the law and the prophets, you know, they tried to make intercession for the nation of Israel. But Yahweh Shemel Shai said he can't deal with these people. He's finished. He already had it set in, he already has it set in stone what he gonna do to a vast majority of these people. You know, that's why I say let the multitude perish, then that are born in vain. It says verse 2, and it shall come to pass if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? So you know, a lot of the nation of Israel like, damn, you know, we did all we can do. Then what you gonna do to us then? Like, you know, if we don't have no hope, what's in store for us? Then shalt thou tell them, thus said the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai, such as for the death to death, and such as for the sword to the sword, and such as for the famine to the famine, and such as for the captivity to the captivity. Right, so Yahweh Shemel Shai already got certain judgments set up for even a vast majority of Israel, because they think it's all fun and games. They think it's cool. They think that Yahweh Shemel Shai ain't gonna touch them. All right, well, Yahweh Shemel Shai gonna touch a lot of people. He even gonna allow his some of his elect to be touched, man. You know, but guess what? They're gonna endure through it. He's gonna put a spirit on them and endure through it. You know, a lot of people, they not gonna have that spirit on them and endure through it because they think that the Lord just peaches and cream, and he just gonna deliver everybody. You know, he just gonna deliver them based upon the fact of them being an Israelite. You know, or just because, you know, they did this or did that. You know, in the name of Israel, or in the name of Yahweh or Yah or Yahuwah. You know. It says, verse 3, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds, said the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai, the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. So Yahweh Shemel Shai has slated judgments for a vast majority of the nation of Israel, man. And he going to allow these judgments to overtake them and consume them. And that's the 2/3, man. You know, that's the 2/3, man. Matter of fact, let me get this. Zechariah, then we can wrap it up. This Zechariah chapter 13. Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 8. it says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, said the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. So it says 2 parts therein going to be cut off and die, but the third going to be left therein, you know. It says, and I will bring the third part through the fire and will find them as silver is refined and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah is my power. Yeah, he said the third part, he gonna say that those are his people. You know, the other 2/3, they gonna be cut off and die. He ain't gonna say that they're his people. And the third part that's brought through, they're gonna say that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is their God, man. You know, so that's it, man. You know, and ultimately we being refined. That's manifold because we being refined right now. You know, through this fiery trial that we go through. You know, we're being refined through that. You know, and if you're not going through that fiery trial, you know, that's a good indicator that you're not part of the lick. You know, and a lot of people, so to speak, especially of Israel, they refuse to go through that fiery trial. They reject the house of mourning. So what they're gonna have to do? They're gonna have to deal with the mourning, the lamentation, and the woe. You know, in the harsh time of Jacob's trouble, man. You know, and they're not gonna be ready for it, man, because they're not gonna understand it. They're not gonna understand it. That's what comes with the servitude to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and He requires that from you. You know. So that's it, man. I pray through the spirit and prophet Yahweh Shem Yahushua this was edifying to the elect or any sincere listeners who may hear this. And I want to give our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And peace and salutations to the house of David, the elect men pushing his truth and faith and sincerity. I want to say shalom to the elect and death to the wicked. Shalom.